John Coe.
Visit ONNradio.com. I'm Daniel Barnett on the Ohio News Network.
Battery power made by steel. From trimmers and mowers to chainsaws and blowers, steel battery tools are exactly what you need to tackle your to-do list. Whether you need to maintain your yard or completely transform your landscape. Shop online for the Steel AK Homeowner Series starting at just $199.99. Pick up at over 10,000 local steel dealers. Real steel. Find yours at steeldealers.com.
Do you have an oak tree in your yard? Well, this sound could be deadly for it this time of year. Oaks all over Ohio are being killed by a fungal disease called oak wilt. It's carried by a bark beetle that just so happens to love freshly cut oak. So certified arborists are reminding people to not prune oak trees during the warm weather unless it's for safety reasons. Find out more by finding an ISA certified arborist near you at treesforohio.org. That's trees, the number 4, ohio.org.
Calls and conversations continue in less than 3 minutes as the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe continues after this.
Now during the...
Looking for a pet sitter or dog boarding options? If so, call Dirty Paws, Wheeling's newest pet care service, providing the Ohio Valley with everyone's pet care needs. Check us out on Facebook at Dirty Paws WHG or call 304-639-7754.
For all of your IT needs, visit OmniPerforms.com. Omni Strategic Technologies, the only IT company that the Watchdog trusts.
In a divided year, we can still be united through giving. There's a $300 above-the-line tax deduction this year thanks to the CARES Act. You can take a $300 deduction for charitable donations. As an organization that promotes giving, the United Way of the Upper Ohio Valley encourages you to utilize this tax deduction. Consider making a donation to a nonprofit agency with a cause that's important to you. Any donation made to the United Way will go towards our annual campaign supporting local programs focusing on the community's toughest needs.
Hello everyone, from the Watchdog, I'm the Storm Tracker Darnell Foster with a look at your local weather forecast for your Monday. Clouds breaking for sunshine through the afternoon, breezy, a high near 56, overnight low of 40 degrees under mainly clear skies. You'll see mostly sunny skies for your Tuesday, with highs in the low 70s. Have yourself a great day, everyone. From the Watchdog, I'm Darnell Foster.
The views and opinions expressed on the following program are not necessarily those of this station or its sponsors.
Hello! Guess what today is?
Let me guess. It's today Monday.
Ding, 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 ding! We have a winner!
You win!
Oh boy! What's my prize? A chance to
Get to work! I should have stayed in bed.
Well, it's too late now.
Come on! Let's go!
All right, people, let's get started.
Okay, it's showtime!
Something to think about, something to laugh about, and something to talk about every day. This is the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe. Brought to you in part by Wheeling Hospital.
33 degrees and cloudy at the Wheeling, Ohio County Airport. A little light wind, 10 miles an hour. It makes it feel like 25, so it's definitely wear a jacket if you're out and about in the early morning hours today. It will be seasonable and sunny today, up to around 52, so be prepared for that. 33 at the Wheeling, Ohio County Airport. 33 at my home studios here in Elm Grove. 33 at the Robinson Auto Group Studios, downtown Wheeling, in the heart of the Ohio Valley. In a minute, I'm going to follow up on that Phil Kabler column that I talked about. You can read it if you want to at wvgazettemail.com in the State House Beat, or I linked to it on my Facebook page and my Twitter page. It has to do with why is this Republican supermajority so hell-bent on, frankly, destroying West Virginia. And we'll talk about that, and I'll share some of what Phil had to say in a minute. But first, Biffy, here we go again.
Yes.
And maybe I'm wrong, and I mean that sincerely. I'm being very honest here. It very well may be my white privilege showing, and I'm not being facetious. Once again, we have a book pulled off the shelves. Did you hear the story on ABC this morning?
I did catch the story.
Scholastic has pulled a children's book called The Adventures of Ook and Gluck. Now, I never heard of The Adventures of Ook and Gluck, but apparently it's kind of a spin-off from The Adventures of Captain Underpants.
By the way,
I am aware of Captain Underpants.
Yeah, I've never heard of this either, so you're not alone.
I never heard of The Adventures of Ook and Gluck. Have you heard of Captain Underpants, though, right?
Yeah, I'm with you. I've heard of that, but not whatever the spin-off was. Yes. Haven't heard of that.
Yeah, okay, me neither. I never heard of it either. It's a series written by Dave Pilkey, who is the author of The Adventures of Captain Underpants, quite popular children's book, and a children's TV cartoon and so on. Teddy has watched them before. He has Captain Underpants, or at least he did. So it's bizarre, but kids like it. All right. Well, apparently, The Adventures of Ook and Gluck, according to the story I have in front of me, is about friends who save the world using kung fu and the principles found in Chinese philosophy. Okay. Sounds like something kids would like. Sounds interesting to me. I don't know. But the author said, this week it was brought to my attention the book contains harmful racial stereotypes and passive racist imagery. What is passive racist imagery? That passive phrase makes me nervous. What does that mean, passive racist imagery?
I don't know, but again, this goes back to something we've talked about before, though. Why are we just now hearing of this?
Yeah, when I did a quick Google search on this, there's a big series of Adventures of Ook and Gluck. So it's not like this is it's not a brand new book that's just come out. It's something that's been around for a while. Again, I've never heard of it, but I guess it is. David Pilkey, the author, said, I wanted to take this chance to publicly apologize for this. It was and is wrong and harmful to my Asian readers, friends, and family, and to all Asian people. Now, let me begin real quickly by saying I've never read it, never seen it, never heard it. I am sharing with you 100% of everything that I know. Okay, I only heard of it on the ABC newscast a minute ago. I did look up a quick story about it. In fact, the Big Seven has a story about it on their website today as well. Scholastic's decision about this particular book, subtitled Kung Fu Cavemen from the Future, has been pulled. It is being compared to the decision by the folks from Dr. Seuss's Enterprises, the company that owns Dr. Seuss's legacy, which is ceasing publication of 6 Dr. Seuss titles. This has fallen into the category of cancel culture, and I don't like that phrase. And this hasn't really been canceled because both Dr. Seuss was pulled by the Dr. Seuss people, and this book was pulled by the author of the book. So it's not, they weren't canceled. They simply chose to cancel themselves, if that's the word. So it's a little bit different than somehow being forced to not do this. But is it just we can't say kung fu? I mean, I don't know. Can we just not? Is that it?
But isn't that
Teddy is taking Taekwondo and he's learning. I said earlier this morning, Teddy wants to be a ninja on his birthday. When I play ninja with him, go, I mean, serious question, am I being racist?
But isn't that, though, the type of fighting that they do, though? I mean,
yes. I mean, it is an my understanding is it's an Oriental style of fighting. Martial arts, to a large extent, is a type of fighting that comes from the Orient, right? I mean, Taekwondo and karate and those kind of things, right?
I mean, I would think so. I mean, if you're talking about the style or type of fighting that it is, I mean, I don't see what the problem is if that's what they've called it for who knows how many years. I mean, if that's the big deal, why is that the big deal? Because that's the style of fighting that they called it. We can't help it that they called it kung fu fighting or taekwondo or whatever the names are. That's not on us.
I mean, again, I have to be clear. I haven't seen it, so maybe I don't know how I can find something more about this. I'll look online a little bit more and see if I can see these passive racist images and so on. And I certainly understand if there is racism involved, even inadvertent, that you don't want it to be put there. But Scholastic Books and the author of the book have pulled this one particular episode, at least, of the Adventures of Ook and Glok they've asked libraries not to carry it. Now, they really can't make libraries not carry it. They have no power to do that. The Scholastic website has pulled the title, Current Orders Won't Be Fulfilled. Darn, Teddy's got a Scholastic order form to order some books. I would have ordered one just to see what it was like, but I guess they won't fulfill my order now. The Scholastic Company says it's our duty and privilege to publish books with powerful and positive representations of our diverse society, and we will continue to strengthen our review processes as we seek to support all young readers. I don't want to get too far down the road of saying cancel culture. I don't want to get too up in arms about this, but sometimes I just wonder, are we not getting overly sensitive? I don't know. Did anybody complain about this?
Oh, somebody.
Substance. I mean, I don't know.
Somebody had to have complained, because why all of a sudden now are we just hearing about it?
Yeah, or did they somehow just suddenly discover that there was there were these racist images there? I'm just doing a quick.
If they did, then that's the fault of whoever finally figured it out and said, "Oh, wait a minute. Well, maybe we better get rid of this too. I mean, we're getting rid of everything else. Now all of a sudden, miraculously or magically, we have this here. Okay, it's got to go. Bye-bye. See ya."
I don't get it. Here, let me just pull up. Y'all can't see this, but let me just pull up all I can do is a picture of the book. I mean, those pictures, they're cavemen. Ook and Gluck, Kung Fu Cavemen. The picture on the front of the book, at least, is just a couple of cavemen. One's white, one's black.
So
I don't know.
Was it the cavemen then that discovered the Kung Fu?
They say it's the what's the phrase here? Wrong and harmful to Asian readers, friends, and family. And there's a great deal of sensitivity this week because of the attack on the Asians in Atlanta that, people are being particularly concerned about discrimination about and attacks on Asian Americans. So I don't know. I just shake my head. I mean, and I guess it's because I still believe that children are easily influenced. I will buy that argument. But I also think children can sort of figure these things out. I don't think children go to the racist attitude unless they're being taught that by some, if they are growing up in a family of racists and then they're reading this book and it's Kung Fu, and if there's somebody in the family that goes, yeah, there's a chinks doing that, okay, that's a different story. But I just can't imagine the kids, particularly of age, that read these things. Teddy is 6 and he's outgrown Captain Underpants, so I don't know what age group they're for, but probably maybe 3 to 5 at the most, something like that. I just can't believe they get influenced this much by.
Kids are smarter than we think, and they realize things that we probably don't think that they do. But I just let them be. I mean,
but I am walking down a road that I'm not totally sure of. After we started talking about the Dr. Seuss stuff a couple of weeks ago, some people sent me some pictures of some of the images that were in some of those 6 books from Dr. Seuss that were pulled from the shelves, and they were, they were a little racist, I guess. So but maybe I don't know enough about. It's not maybe I don't know enough about this, but I just get my antenna goes up anymore when we start pulling books off. A congressman from Florida, Congressman John Joyce, introduced the Grinch Act into Congress last week, which would safeguard access to historical literature, including Dr. Seuss. The Grinch, all right, Grinch, the Guarding Readers' Independence and Choice Act. Grinch. Jeez.
Someone in his office came up with that, because there's no way he came up with that.
And someone in his office had too much time on their hands.
Apparently, it must have been what day did it come out? Did you say Friday?
I think it was Friday.
So down in Florida.
Last week sometime, yeah.
Okay, so sometime last week, pick a day of the week, I don't care, pick a Tuesday. It must have been a slow day down there in Florida that somebody had nothing better to do than to think of this.
The Guarding Readers' Independent and Choice Act, the Grinch Act, seeks to protect classic authors, including authors such as Dr. Seuss. Now, here's the problem. There was no government censure here. There was no library, which is an institution of government, if you will, that said we won't put these books in our library. It was the Dr. Seuss family, or it's not really their family, but it's the people who control the Dr. Seuss legacy that said we, the owners of this, don't want these particular books out. Well, that's Congress can't make a law preventing them from canceling their own books, if you will. The Grinch Act will prohibit taxpayer dollars from funding bureaucratic attempts to censor children's literature and determine what our kids are permitted to read. Well, again, in both of these cases that we're talking about here, Ook and Gluck and Dr. Seuss, there's no government intervention here. There's no bureaucrats who are trying to stop it. In each case here, they're being done by the people who own these things. Private enterprise, if you will. No, we don't want these out. No taxpayer dollars are involved. I'm not criticizing Dr. This congressman is a doctor as well. That's why I said Dr. Joyce. Congressman John Joyce, MD from Florida. I'm not criticizing Dr. Joyce. He seems to have a great concern for kids. Since 2019, he has visited 20 public libraries across 9 counties, delivering hundreds of books from the Library of Congress, including children's books. So apparently he's a good guy, wants to get kids to read and so on. But the Grinch Act, just a misplaced act. First of all, we don't need government oversight of everything. God, I can't believe I'm saying that. I'm a liberal. But we just don't need to pass a law for everything, you know?
Howard, be careful. We'll come after your card.
My card has almost been ripped out of my hand anymore based on a few of the things I've been saying.
You're hanging on for dear life to that card.
So I don't know. Oh, the books they will ban, I guess, with the Grinch Act. Why don't you pass the election reform bill? Or why don't you pass more COVID relief? Or why don't you balance the budget? Or I don't know, something else. Do something else other than the Grinch Act.
Something worthy that'll help us people here.
Yeah, what a crazy idea. Something that actually makes a difference in our lives. Is that too much to ask? I ask it of those in Charleston. I ask it of those in Washington. Could you actually work on things that make a difference in our lives? Now, the COVID relief bill that was recently passed will make a difference in many people's lives. We're all getting the stimulus money. You wonder what that stimulus money is going for, by the way. Have you got your stimulus money yet?
No, I'm still waiting.
Still waiting. Well, we got ours a couple weeks ago. And it just got absorbed into our checking account, and we're using it for a variety of things. And I have chosen to make some additional charitable contributions and add a little extra money and so on. My son, who does a lot of, home construction work and so on, has been trying to get some folks to come in and help him, contractors come in and help him. And he said what he's discovered is that the local contractors, the local, carpenters and people that are, can come out and help you build your deck or help you, whatever, are really, really busy. And when he asked them why, they said, everybody got their stimulus money and they're doing things around their house. I'm not totally sure that's what the COVID money was for. It was supposed to be for people who are having a hard time paying their rent or making ends meet or buying prescriptions or getting food. And that was kind of what the COVID relief money was for. But apparently a lot of people are using it to, build decks or add a new bathroom or something. So I guess it's getting harder and harder to get local contractors to come out and help you right now because they're so busy. All right. Listen, I want to talk about this Kabler column a little bit more in a minute. There's something else I wanted to get to today. Oh, delivery fees and delivery services like DoorDash and Delivery.com and so on. If I have a chance, I'll try and get to that coming up as well. It is the Watchdog Morning Show, 28 past the hour here on a Monday morning.
The Variety Show with Bill DeFabio is
The Woodsdale Health Center and Walk-In Clinic is located across from Little Caesars on National Road. Open 7 to 7 Monday through Friday. Patients can receive primary care, treatment of minor illnesses and injuries, wellness visits and physicals. There's also a lab draw station open from 8 to noon weekdays. A division of Wheeling Hospital, the Woodsdale Health Center is led by family physician Dr. Michael Wilson. Call 304-234-1971. They'll take good care of you.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy houses as is, fast for cash. Call me today for an all-cash offer on any of your properties, and we can close within days at 614-362-2000, 362-2000. Do you own a property that's outdated and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, I'll buy it. I'm a private real estate investor who can solve your real estate problems fast for cash. Do you want to sell and just be done with it? Okay, great. I buy vacant properties, boarded up houses, pre-foreclosures, and inherited properties. I also buy apartment buildings, rental portfolios, divorce homes. I even buy my tenant won't.
You will not get better quality for the price.
Wayfair. Spend less, get way more.
Find all the eggs for a chance to win merchandise, gift cards, and a golden egg with 10 free tickets for the West Virginia Lottery Powerball Suite. Sponsored by Generations, Healthy Vibes for You, and Tito's Sloppy Dogs. Get tickets for the April 1st Nailers Easter Egg Hunt at West Banco Arena. Game time 7:10. Call 304-234-GOAL or visit WheelingNailers.com. This is Nail City.
Beach Bottom. The Watchdog is protecting your yard. Join Howard Monroe, Hoppy Kercheval, Bill DeFabio, and Big Rick for the best live and local talk in the Upper Ohio Valley and beyond. Beach Bottom trusts the Watchdog.
If you miss a part of the show or want to listen again, you can find conversations, interviews, and rants on our podcasts at Apple Podcasts or on WatchdogNetwork.com. This is the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe.
I have really been skimming the internet there are dozens and dozens and dozens of stories. This Ook and Gluck story is a big deal today. If you do a little internet search yourself, it's Ook and Gluck, spin-off of Captain Underpants, the kids' cartoon and book. Lots and lots of stories about it. I'm not getting a whole lot of explanation as to what specifically this passive racism is. There is one story under that Yahoo News has where they do have a couple of frames from the book, and it is a little girl, little boy, and there is an Oriental who is teaching them Kung Fu. The best fighters do not show off their anger. The wisest warriors win without a battle, is what the Oriental master is teaching him. He is drawn as a cartoon character to look like an Oriental. Is that passive racism? I don't get. Seriously, I don't get it. Yes, he looks like an Oriental.
Is he not supposed to?
Martial arts an Oriental art form, an Oriental fighting form.
Right. I would think that's where that originated, and that's where it came from. It almost sounds. I got it, Howard. I think I figured it out. It's history. Okay. It's history. That's where it came from. Yes, it came from over there. So they've tried to bring that over here to us to try and learn it, but it's part of their history that's bad because of the name and the character and everything, and they don't want that they don't want that history. Get rid of it, like we're doing with the names of the schools and the statues and everything. Maybe this is their way of we don't want that. Get rid of it. It's out of here.
I don't know. I'm looking at these. It's 3 panels from a Ook and Gluck book, and I guess these 2 guys are Ook and Gluck actually. One of them's black, one of them's white. So now the simple fact that one of these cavemen is black, is that passive racism too? Because the Oriental master, the one teaching him Kung Fu, is drawn cartoon style as an Oriental. But I mean, should we not draw Orientals? There's nothing that I can see here that is disparaging or derogatory.
You know what it is? Maybe everybody, like you're trying to do, is figure it out. That's why there aren't too many stories yet, and that you can find. Maybe they're doing the same thing. Maybe they're trying to figure out, okay, well, what's the big deal here, and then what story are we going to write once we find something?
Here are some of the Twitter comments on this particular article I'm mentioning, where I'm looking at a couple of scenes. Ook and Gluck, a black and white cavemen, are being taught Kung Fu by an Oriental Kung Fu teacher. And yes, he looks Oriental. Here's some of the comments. Isn't this just giving good advice? I don't get it. Someone else says, I think the main problem here is he's depicted with slanted eyes. Another one says, old white guy here, what am I missing? Is it the description of the teacher? Help me understand. Again, I think the main problem here is he's depicted with slanted eyes. Now, someone else comes on and says, no, the main problem is the stereotypical depiction of an Asian character. Not just the eyes, we're reduced to a caricature of our perceived singular culture. The theme is Asians are weak and nothing more than Kung Fu masters. It's not a history book about Asian Americans. It's a cartoon story. There's nothing derogatory. Yes, he's drama slanted. He looks like an Oriental. And the black member of Ook and Gluck looks black. And the white member of Ook and Gluck looks white. None of the 3 are in any way depicted disparagingly, but you can tell one is Oriental, one is black, one is white. It's a distinction there. In fact, Mr. Pilkey, the author of the book, says that he wants to show diversity in here. So he's got that. No, I'm sorry. This is from an Asian, and I therefore have to respect his point of view, but he says, we're reduced to a caricature of our perceived singular culture. Everybody is reduced to listen, if somebody does, and they do sometimes, and they do cartoons about talk show hosts, we are often perceived as blowhards. I mean, there's no nuance to a cartoon about a talk show host. We're just perceived as blowhards in a cartoon. If there was a cartoon book about the adventures of radio host, it would be, that's because that's what you do in books. It's in children's books, in cartoons. You take something and you exaggerate it and you make a point. There's nothing negative about this. Again, based on what I'm looking at here, and I'm willing to be seen to shown otherwise. There is nothing here that I would think that anybody could find offensive. You have a black caveman, you have a white caveman, you have an Oriental Kung Fu master teaching the black caveman and the white caveman. The Oriental looks like he's Oriental, the black looks black, and the white looks white. And none of them look evil, bad, terrible. They don't look like, they just...
Howard, remember, we find ways to fight over where we get our food from.
Yeah. Yeah, it goes back to the beginning of the show today, doesn't it, Biff?
Yes, it does.
We find ways to argue and to fight about the dumbest thing in the world. Why did you go to the Alpha Tavern? I was hungry. I would never go there. Okay. That's the kind of stuff you find on Facebook, right?
It is.
But we've got to fight about something. I am sure there are racist cartoons, there are racist children's books. Some of them probably should be, at the very least, put in perspective, if not pulled from the shelf again. Some of the Dr. Seuss books that were pulled, and I didn't know the 6 that were pulled. I'm a real big Dr. Seuss fan, but the 6 that were pulled, I didn't know. But when I saw some of the images in them, yeah, they were a little rough.
So you could at least reason. You could at least reason with them.
Yeah, right. I mean, I can understand the argument that some of them perhaps went overboard. But I'm looking at this Ook and Glok thing. I mean, the only conclusion I can draw from reading the various tweet responses here, and God knows you shouldn't draw conclusions from tweets either, but from reading the various tweet responses is that you should never show an Asian American. I mean, that's the bottom line. That seems to be what it says.
This to me sounds like it's someone that was going for a stretch, and unfortunately, it worked.
And right now we're in a very hypersensitive time because of the incident in Atlanta last week, which did involve Asian Americans, and there's a lot of attention being paid to discrimination against them. So, but I don't see it here. Again, please don't take my liberal card. I'm trying, but I just don't see it. I just don't see it. All right, it's 9:40, 22 of the hour. Let's see what Metro News is working on this morning, and we'll also check Billy D's morning sports report. We'll find out what our friends of the Big Seven have got going today with Bob Westfall coming up in just a bit as well. This is the Watchdog Morning Show for a Monday. I'm glad you're here.
The Metro News Update is brought to you by Thomas Auto Centers, Mall Road, St. Clairsville. Get the best deal at Thomas Auto Centers.
West Virginia Metro News.
Well, I'll get in trouble for that. Okay, we'll do sports preview and a FanDuel before I get to Kapler, and then I'll get to Kapler if I have time. But I have to get another FanDuel in, so. Up where? Oh, really? Uh-oh. Oh, okay. Which house are you looking at now? Okay. Okay. Good. Good, great. That's good. I'm glad to hear that. 7th Street, huh? We lived on 7th Street for a while up there. Good, great. That'd be super. You got your bank approval? Nice, very good, great. That's great news.
Will face the 22-9-4 Islanders, second in the Eastern Division standings. The captain, Sid Crosby, leading the way for the Pens, 14 goals, 25 assists. By the way, in their last 10 games, the Penguins are 7-2-1. Well, March Madness continued Sunday. Gonzaga, Michigan, and USC with easy victories. Best game Sunday, in overtime, UCLA, an 11th seed, beat number 2 seed Alabama 88-78. And in sunny Florida, the Pirates beat the Baltimore Orioles again 2-1. 13-13 Pirates host the Minnesota Twins this afternoon. Be safe out there. Please be considerate of others. Check on the elderly. I'm Bill DeFabio on sports, and we are the Watchdog.
Are you struggling to make payments due to an unexpected financial obligation or loss of income? Are you receiving calls from debt collectors? Are you feeling overwhelmed and unsure of what steps to take next? Then you need the experience and expertise of attorney Tom McIntyre and his staff to help guide you through these temporary hardships. Want to hear more about how Tom can help? Then call 877-456-4155 and receive a free copy of Tom's ebook, When Bad Things Happen to Good People. Tom's ebook covers many questions people have about bankruptcy and includes interesting stories about people who tried to avoid filing and people who have filed for bankruptcy. We think you'll be surprised to learn some interesting facts about bankruptcy. Call 877-456-4155.
Oh, there's something so real about living local, and I know without a doubt I'm not alone. And I'm loving living local. There's nowhere else I'd rather be. Say I'm loving living local. WTRF is working for me. The Ohio Valley is where I love to be.
Every weeknight at 6 p.m., join the voice of the Mountaineers, Tony Caridi, on The Watchdog. Tony informs and entertains WVU fans with the latest Mountaineer sports news. If it happens in the world of gold and blue, Tony knows about it and shares it with you. Sportsline, weeknights at 6 on The Watchdog.
Hi, it's Hoppy Kirchville. Join me weekdays at 10 o'clock for Talkline. We'll talk about the big stories affecting us in West Virginia, top political figures, sports personalities, sometimes just plain folks, offering their opinions on what's happening today. 10 till noon, right after the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe.
You can watch a video cast of our show every morning on Facebook Live or on our website. Plus, check archives of all of our videos on the Watchdog YouTube channel. The Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe continues.
Thank you to those of you who are watching us on Facebook Live video. Always appreciate it. I do ask you to like us and share us if you're watching it. Hopefully you like it. Otherwise, why would you watch it? Well, some of you watch it just to get mad at me. I get that. I understand that. But hopefully you can hit the like button and then the share button. Send it to your news feed, your timeline, so other people will know that we're on the air and can check it out. And of course, it's not just the Watchdog Morning Show. It's all of our programs that are on Facebook Live, Bill DeFabio's Variety Show, Big Talk with Big Rick in the evenings as well, and frequently our ball games as well. Speaking of ball games, what do we got coming up this week, Biffy?
Right now, tonight, we have the Pittsburgh Penguins. They will be in action at 7 o'clock taking on the New York Islanders. The Penguins beat the Islanders on Saturday 6-3. And they will play again tonight at PPG Paints Arena at 7. And looking at the basketball schedule, I guess we could say scheduled for this week because who knows what's going to happen.
Right.
We have tomorrow night Oak Glen at Wheeling Central. That game's scheduled for 7:30. And on Friday of this week, we have Weirton at John Marshall. That game also 7:30 tip-off, so both games scheduled for 7:30, one on Tuesday and one on Friday, and we'll see if there are any other changes or additions, but as of right now, 2 games scheduled this week.
All right, if there are changes, additions, deletions, or what have you, we will let you know over the course of the week, but at least we're into high school basketball season, and we're getting some, and I think I saw the note from Fred Persinger talking about getting ready for tournament action, too, so.
Yeah, we've got, let's see, John Marshall, according to the schedule that we have, our last scheduled game for them is April the 12th. Now, they may play 1 or 2 more after that. Wheeling Central's last scheduled game is April 17th. So we're probably, what is that, about 3 weeks away from regular season ending, and then we get into sectionals and regionals, and then hopefully we send some teams down to Charleston.
And before long, Biffy, it'll be Zool's time.
We're hoping. I mean, I hope they let us go. I mean, my goodness. I'll have to. The bad part is though, I'll have to do doubles since I missed a year. So instead of maybe one per game, I might have to find a way to get two.
Oh boy, it could be trouble.
I'll be in a coma by the evening.
Someone will have to watch you carefully, Biff.
Oh, trust me, there are plenty that can do that. So that won't be a problem.
Now let's see, in the NCAA tournament, Gonzaga, of course, is still heading towards a strong finish here. Lisa is our contestant on the Watchdog Madness contest, paired up with Gonzaga, so she's in good shape. What are the other ones that we want to watch moving ahead, Biffy?
I think Baylor. They're another one. They play tonight. Michigan. UCLA, who upset number 2 Alabama last night. That was one of the better games of the weekend. That was the late game last night. Alabama hit a 3. They were down by 3, and they tied it and sent it into overtime. And UCLA kind of cruised in overtime. I think you still have Houston. That's left, and I think we said Michigan, and I think that's all the big ones, and then there were a couple that nobody probably even had an eye on.
Is Oral Roberts out?
Yes, Oral Roberts. They got eliminated over the weekend.
All right. So let's see. Lisa is linked up with Gonzaga, so she's got a good shot at the way things are going. Joyce is carrying Baylor for us. Our old friend Rosemary Humway-Warmouth has got Houston, so she's still in the hunt. Roger has got UCLA. Catherine has got Michigan. So those are some of the folks here on the Watchdog that are linked up with some of those are still some of the teams still alive and heading into the tail end of the tournament action. Watchdog Madness is brought to you in part by West Liberty University, and whoever lasts to the end gets the big screen TV. Now, I mentioned Oral Roberts, for example. Probably many of you didn't pick it, but after the first round, maybe some of you thought, boy, I wish I did, or maybe you had it in the first round, you were really happy they stayed in there for a while, but it went away. There's always that one team that ruins your bracket, whatever it may be. That's why this year, if you bet the tournament on FanDuel Sportsbook, America's #1 sportsbook, your first bet is risk-free. Doesn't matter what team you're betting, whether you're picking Houston or Gonzaga, whether it's UCLA or Michigan. New users get up to $1,000 in site credit back if your first bet doesn't win. FanDuel has odds on all of the action, games day and night, an easy-to-use app, multiple deposits, fast withdrawals, and always get your money as quickly as they possibly can within 24 hours. And if that's not enough, right now FanDuel wants to make you a millionaire. That's right, want to make you a millionaire. They're giving away $1 million to one lucky bettor. New and existing users get an additional shot at the payout every day that you bet the tournament. So download FanDuel Sportsbook app, use my name in the promo code box, Monroe, MONROE, and you'll be set up and ready to roll. You must be 21 or older, physically present in Pennsylvania or West Virginia. No purchase necessary. Restrictions apply for the $1 million drawing. Risk-free offer for the first online real money wager only. Site credit is non-withdrawable and expires in 14 days. Restrictions do apply. See sportsbook.fanduel.com for details. Remember, if gaming is fun, download FanDuel and have fun. But if it's a problem for you, don't download FanDuel. Rather, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.1800gambler.net. FanDuel Sportsbook, more ways to win. Well, let's see if Bob Westfall is living, loving local this morning here with the Big 7. Good morning, Bob.
Morning, Howard. How are you?
I'm good. How was your weekend?
It was okay. Nothing spectacular. So we're back to work on Monday. But one question, you talked about the brackets. Will one team bust your brackets? Really? Really, this year you only have one team bust your bracket?
Perhaps I should have put the phrase, at least one team in there, huh?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, my mind got blown out of the water day one. So
Yeah, I mean, so many people's brackets were just done on day one.
Yeah.
You're exactly right. But you know what they say? It's why they play the games, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you got to play.
Yep.
Some of the things we're working on today, just an update on Tyler Thompson. He's the man accused of killing the young lady in Noble County. That hearing has been continued, so we've got that update right now. We'll follow that up as we go. That woman had family, was from Martins Ferry, Leah Hines. Well, we're going to follow that story. But that trial, the preliminary hearing today, has been continued, so we will we'll update that one as we go.
Okay.
A couple other stories we're working on. We're going to talk to Chief Schwartzfeger at Wheeling. Their Crime Stoppers program has really taken off since they have implemented it, so we're going to find out a little bit more about what it is and what people need to know about it, and how this could help you if you've got issues in your local neighborhood. So that's always something that's important. They say if you see something, say something. So this program is part of that, and it is taking off. So we'll be talking about that today. In addition to that, Wheeling PD is looking for a few good new officers. So we're going to get the update from Chief Schwartzfeger on that as well. Mobile vaccines. Belmont County is getting more vaccines in. Looks like they may be up for a mobile unit somewhere here shortly. So DK Wright will be getting the update on that, which is we continue to vaccinate more and more. Now we're looking at everybody from 16 on up. So that's kind of exciting news. As the numbers grow, that's good. That's good for everyone else out there. So maybe some semblance of normal is around the bend.
Sounds good. You know, the vaccines are changing so much. You see where Walmart's going to start giving out vaccines. Wheeling Hospital's got their own website, too. The whole thing has been changing a lot over the last couple of weeks. People need to pay attention to that, too.
Right. So many different places. Instead of just waiting on the health department to get with you, now there's other outlets where I know some of our people here have gone to Walgreens. Some people have gone to the Highland Center. I myself went to the Trinity Center here in Jefferson County. So yeah, just kind of pay attention because it's growing. I mean, there's more places than just sitting at home waiting for the health department to call you. So you need to check out those websites.
Because there's plenty of vaccine coming in, but now the question, in fact, sometimes they're worried about not being able to use it all.
Right.
But you have to be a little proactive in getting your appointment scheduled necessarily.
Right. You've got to make the phone call or sit down on that website and check it out. A couple other lighter stories today. The summer entertainment guide comes out today. That's kind of exciting, considering we didn't have any last year.
So we're going to have summer entertainment this year.
Yeah. Well, governor says fairs and fairs and things like that are open. Ohio as well. I think Mike DeWine said last week on fairs, and I know Jefferson County's already sent us the information. They're planning on having a county fair. So we'll see how things go. But at least the guides come out. We get an idea on that. And another story, April is Autism Awareness Month. We know what a great job Augusta Levy does. So we're going to go out there and talk to them about, how they've done it in the last year. I mean, that's got to be a huge challenge. So a little bit of everything today. Of course, the weather looks like it's in for a cool down, and like the rest of us who just realized there is still an NCAA tournament going on, we'll have that information as well. So we have a little bit of everything this week.
All right, sounds good. Coming up today at noon, 5, 6, 10, 11, 5:30 for the statewide show, and always the fun stuff at the new stuff and the fun stuff at WTRF.com. So we'll look forward to it. All right, Bob, appreciate it. We'll talk to you again tomorrow. Thanks a lot.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right, everybody, Bob Westfall from the Bird 7, WTRF TV. Well, I think that's about it. Time for me to say sayonara, see you, bye-bye, farewell. I got to go. I got to get out of here.
I'm going, but I'll be back. Just look for me mama and pop. Yes, and I'm gonna bring a cop just to make you give me back my love before I blow my heart.
Kirchhoff's got the calm coming up next. As for me, good Lord willing, creeks don't rise, bat phone doesn't ring, Doken and Peach don't retire, and ticker keeps on ticking. Plus Teddy says, it's all right, Granddad, you can go back to work tomorrow. I'll be back tomorrow morning, 7 o'clock, at the go-around of the big gig. Are you back with me, Brother Biff?
I am here for a Tuesday.
We'll just keep on doing it till we get it right.
That'll be a long time.
Indeed. The Watchdog is FM 98.1, AM 1600 WKKX Wheeling, FM 97.7, AM 1370 WVLY Moundsville.
The ABC News is brought to you by Thomas Auto Centers, Mall Road, St. Clairsville. Get the best deal at Thomas Auto Centers.
ABC News.
Okay. Another day is done. I'm glad Luke and Gluck showed up. That gave us something to deal with. Yeah, I think it's been good lately to leave some open time. I mean, it's not on purpose. I just don't have a schedule, but I think we end up every once in a while needing some time just to kick some stories around. So it's worked out pretty well. All right. Well, good luck to you on the house thing then today, and get that taken care of. And I'll be around if you need me for anything. Otherwise, I will just talk to you in the morning. He's in school. I'm sure we'll play afterwards. A lot depends on what the weather is like at 3:30. Whether we go to the playground or come here. It's either playground or Mario. It just depends on what the weather is like. Yeah, we will. We always have fun. We always, one way or another, we have fun. All right, Biffy. I appreciate your help today. Good job, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. All right. Thanks a lot. Bye.
Businesses and venues like Madison Square Garden will be able to scan the QR code in the app and verify your results. Now, when scanned, state officials say none of your personal information will be revealed, but it will show whether your pass is valid, not valid, or expired, and it's completely voluntary.
That's the sound of other boats sounding their horns as workers have successfully set free that huge container ship that for nearly a week has been stuck sideways in the Suez Canal. They did it with the help of high tide and a flotilla of tugboats. You're listening to ABC News.
On our first date, we had masks on and kept 6 feet apart. Now, we're a lot closer.
Just like Cliff and Deb, thousands of singles over 50 found their perfect match on Silver Singles last year.
I feel like I'm 20 years old again, and I'm pretty sure she feels the same way.
Rediscover the magic of dating with Silver Singles, the exclusive community for singles over 50. Sign up today and receive daily matches you won't want to miss at silversingles.com/radio. silversingles.com/radio.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with Zipper.